This is going to be a fairly short video which looks at more recent unrest. It's important to know that things didn't just automatically become perfect after the Watts riots, and some of these tensions would bubble over again and again in California history. In 1992, Rodney King was arrested. Well, he was actually arrested in 1991. Um, Unknown to the officers, the arrest was caught on camcorder. This is again a time before cell phones, and the police weren't used to having a record made of their arrests. The arrest in the Rodney King incident, he was fairly badly beaten by police, and there was a call for the police officers to face the consequences of violating the law in this way. The trial, which should have, which would have ordinarily been held in Los Angeles, the defense made a motion, and the judge agreed that the city was too biased, and they actually moved the trial to the Simi Valley. Simi Valley, a lot of the LA Police Department officers live in Simi Valley, so it's a very, very friendly jurisdiction. Um, and the officers were acquitted. When the officers were acquitted, the Black community, Rodney King was Black, for those of you who don't remember it, the Black community just had a immediate uprising. There was basically a 5-day battle, and I actually remember watching this on TV, and watching people take shots at firemen going to the scene of burning buildings. I mean, it was just an absolute disaster. The National Guard again was called out, and federal troops were called out. Um, many of the businesses that were destroyed were owned by Korean American shopkeepers, and at this point, Korean American and Black relations fall to an all-time low. Um, um, the One thing that we don't really talk about in this is that 30% of those killed and 50% arrested were Latino. That gets underreported quite a bit. Um, Over 3,700 buildings were burned, and there was $1 billion in damage. The state appoints Warren Christopher, who is a former U.S. Secretary of State, to form a commission to look into what had happened. There, it, it The commission's report said that there was excessive police violence with little management or oversight, and it was just an absolutely scathing condemnation of the LA Police Department. At which time the police chief Daryl Gates was forced to resign. Um, the things seem to get somewhat better, um, um, but we have had another couple of flare-ups in the 21st century. In Oakland in the 2010s, had a series of troubles. In 2011, there was a general strike, which was kind of triggered by the Occupy movement. In 2014, there were riots over the Michael Brown acquittal in Missouri. When Michael Brown was when the police officer who killed Michael Brown was acquitted in Missouri, there were uprisings all over the country, including Oakland. And then in 2016, when Trump was elected, the residents of Oakland again took to the streets and caused some damage. But it's not just Oakland. In 2012, here in Orange County, there was a mini riot over excessive police force. In 2016, in Sacramento, there was a battle between the Antifa movement and some white supremacists. And in 2017, pro and anti-Trump factions clashed. And so we're not past the time that we have civil unrest. So, it's just important to contextualize things that historically we've had a couple of uprisings that have led to real changes in the police force and police leadership and police organization. But we still have some incidents where if you taking the street and ultimately causing damage.